Welcome to the Cash Flow Circle podcast. My name is Moses Peterson.
My name is Danilo Huamani.
And today we're going to be dissecting and diving into the architecture of wealth and wealth creation and how we are revolutionizing real estate as a whole. Today we're not just discussing real estate, we're actually witnessing a revolution. Join us as we explore the journey from visionary who transformed an entire empire into what it is today and how we are going to go against the grain and illuminate a path to financial liberation. People who are auditioning us to rewrite the rules. So with that being said, let's give a brief introduction. So tell me about yourself. Tell me about where you come from.
I was born in Peru, 2006. Grew up in a pretty normal family. My dad, a police officer, my mom too. If you know where I'm from, Peru, people don't make that much money. Thanks to God, my family was pretty well off for a little bit until we came to the United States. You start from zero if you're an immigrant. You know what I'm talking about, especially coming without your dad. It's tough. Then, after trying multiple businesses, fail, break even, fail, then I jump into exportation and then transition into real estate where I met Moses. Probably
where I met you. Just say I met you.
We're looking now with aura.
Yeah, we gotta speak with conviction. Speak like you mean it. They could sense the nervousness on you. When I was watching the video from yesterday, I could see like my chest as I was talking, I'm like, nah, I can't let them see me sweat.
Met Moses, definitely life-changing partner, make me move way more faster. And then after being surrounded by affluent individuals who've been in the industry for multiple years, we are where we are right now with probably the biggest company, Bricks, who is about to change everything. How you see it, Moses? How you started?
Well, my journey was nothing short of, when you talk about adversity and resilience, my story exhibits that as a whole. I started off, not really understanding, with no really guidance of no structure of how I was going to go forward in life. I didn't really see me going past 18. That was just how I saw my life, and I didn't really think about what the future will hold and what exactly will come from it. I spent most of my years from 15 to all the way up until 21 in and out of prison, back and forth, bumping my head, coming home, making the same mistakes again, fuck around with little chicken heads, it all.
You're gonna do it. It's part of the process. It's
trial and error, It's just trial and error. And I think my last bid kind of taught me okay, something has to give. This can't be life. I can't be around this environment. Prison is a very low level environment. You're surrounded by, it's the wastelands, and it would so easy to fall back into that space just mentally. When I was there, I tried to sharpen my skills a lot, playing chess, reading books. I read 48 Laws of Power. I read The Prince by Machiavelli. I read a lot of books that I sharpened my mind, and I always knew I wanted more. I just didn't really know how I was gonna get there, So when I came home, I worked for a little while. I used to work in warehouses, any warehouse you could think of, really, like Pallet Warehouse, Amazon, UPS. I worked at every single warehouse you could think of. And so I came home, I got a job at a Pallet Warehouse. I started working at Taco Bell at the same time, so I was working 2 jobs. And then for 90 days, my first 90 days home, I was just grinding, just going in.
You know what's the best part about hearing rock bottom? You can only go up.
It's true. Most people who actually have achieved some type of sort of greatness in life had to hit that rock bottom,
Everyone.
You work when you have nothing, and it's very frustrating too because you don't really have any room to even look around and breathe. You feel like you're suffocating, but that's what squeezes that little bit of juice out. That's what squeezes that relentless determination to go harder and go further. So for the 90 days, I just grinded, bought me a car, Mercedes-Benz C300, and that was like my first tangible thing in saying like, damn, okay, I could really, like I had to put myself in that mindset of I was already rich, even though I wasn't there yet, obviously, but I knew that me putting myself in this Benz was gonna make me want to get something bigger than that, like I'm constantly trying to stretch myself and expand. So I got the Benz. This is 2021, so I actually had a moment where I just felt like I've been here forever in the same position, and it's not taking me anywhere other than just, I was hood rich. I had a nice car. I already knew everybody in my neighborhood. I would ride around in the Benz. But there has to be more. This can't be it. There's a bigger world.
How was the people that you were surrounded with? The hood is, everybody knows it's not a good influence. How would you say your life changed after you start being surrounded by affluent individuals?
Influent as in like better people?
Yeah, better people.
Changed everything. Your network is your net worth. If you surround yourself around 5 people who are millionaires, then most likely you're going to be the 6th one, and that goes with everything from where you come from. If you're around nothing but chicken heads and brokies and people who just like, they can't see past themselves and they can't see past what they got going on, and that's all they know, you're not gonna really grow from that. So I had to make a decision. I had to leave, and it was a very scary decision. Like it was my first time actually like being out on my own. I had my foster permit when I was 18, but at that point I was going outside of my out of bounds, uncharted territory. Some place I never been before. I moved to Tampa, and I hopped on a plane, and I kind of just didn't really. It was very spontaneous. Like I didn't really put too much thought into it. I said that I'll figure it out when I get there, So I hopped on the plane, shipped my car. I had set up an apartment down here already, so I kind of just like hit the ground running. I saved up a little bit of money, and I was able to just move in, and eventually found my way. Got me a little job out there, and I was still feeling that sense of like there's more, right? And my first business was renting cars out. I had my Benz, and I think how I'm gonna pay for this Benz. I have no job. I don't have like enough money coming in to be able to keep up with what I'm doing. So I decided to rent it out on Turo. And from there, I kind of got the idea. Okay, this is good. I have my car paying for itself, right? And I'm like, I could do this on a wider scale. Why not do it with apartments? I used my apartment, listed on Airbnb, and I started getting, like, I got a booking that quick, like same day.
And all this time you were alone, or did you find any mentor on the way?
No, there was no mentors back then, really. I was just trying things and doing things. I didn't really like know how to like put myself, I wasn't equipped that mindset to be able to put myself around people I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. So I was out there for a little while, and once I got the idea, okay, rental cars, Airbnb, package deal, okay. Now I'm scaling. Now I got more than one property, I was able to get 4 properties within 1 year. I was moving fast. Like, I just had my first daughter, and that made me like want to just go harder and grind. So I was able to get 4 properties, 1 in Atlanta, 1 in Miami, 2 in Tampa. And things were going good, and then at some point, Airbnb decided to update their policy to where they run criminal background checks on the host. And they ran a criminal background check on me, and they removed me from the platform. And most of my money, most of the revenue was coming from Airbnb. So that put me in a position where I have all these properties, and I have no platform. I don't know how to get these properties off, so I couldn't hold on to them. I had to jump ship, and at the same time, I was also going through a custody battle with my daughter and my baby mother. So it was a lot of pressure being put on me to like force me to like, I had to make a decision. And life is all about sacrifices, and there's no success without sacrifice.
Pressure is where everything is made.
Pressure makes diamonds.
You say it.
Most definitely. So fast forward 2023, I ended up moving into the Airbnb I had in Miami. So that's what brought me to Miami.
Right.
Since moving to Miami, I realized, okay, I don't have my business. My business is gone, and that taught me like a course law. Like if you don't own it, you can't control it. Ownership is everything. Airbnb is its own business. They could change the rules whenever they want to, and if you don't own anything, you can't control it. So, okay, what do I do next? I started looking into real estate. I started looking into, like actually purchasing my own real estate. I would go to networking events. I would go to, just putting myself in that environment around other real estate professionals because I knew that maybe I could learn something. Maybe, they could teach me something. So, like I said, it's going back to who you surround yourself with. They brought me to a point where, okay.
Do you find any people that maybe you would say they were not the best influence or they were not transparent when it comes to their story?
Most definitely. You're always going to run into people like that. You can't control that.
We already run into somebody like that.
Yeah, we're not going to say any names on this podcast because, we want to keep it. But you're going to run into people like that and you can't control it, But it's just about being aware, understanding, people, understanding the, psychology behind why they do what they do, understanding, people, this business that I created for myself is built on principles, morals, and integrity. That's all I can work with here. So if I don't see that in you, we're not going to be around each other. You're not going to be working with me because it's not going to, we're obviously going to have problems. Eventually you're going to dissolve at some point. So why even work with us?
Agree.
Most definitely.
Agree, definitely.
So yeah, from there I learned real estate. I learned how to underwrite. I learned commercial real estate. And it really brought me to like a certain point of just, okay, now I'm in the game. Now I'm able to soak up the game. I'm gonna take what you taught me and I'm gonna double up. I'm gonna take what she taught me and I'm gonna double up. And I'm gonna keep doubling up until I can't anymore. And that brought us to where we at right now with this new company that we just partnered up with, Bricks, making it easy for anybody in the world.
No, definitely. That's about to literally change the game. When you disrupt something like the banks, we're gonna talk more about it, but that's definitely something big that's going on right now that people are just not realizing.
Yeah, they're not ready for it.
No, they're not.
But is anybody ever ready for it?
You know what's funny? You just jump into the water without being ready. And people don't want to jump because they're scared.
That means you're gonna people that get left behind.
That's the same with AI. People were talking about AI like 5 years ago. Everybody was scared. And now what? AI is taking over the industry. And people who didn't take advantage of that, now it's getting stuck, it's getting behind. And we're seeing it.
Yeah.
What's happening with the traditional investors? They're not getting more properties. Why? They're not adapting. What happened with us? We're implementing AI in every system that we do. And now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing, Facebook ads, pay-per-click. You can implement AI into everything. And the old folks, they don't say it. But that's good for us.
It's a mentality thing. And, we're going to profit off of it because the people who aren't willing to adapt, we still profit off of them because now, okay, you don't know how to use this? Don't worry. I'll do it for you and I'm going to charge you a fee for doing that, based on some information that's free.
Exactly.
People don't really understand the value of information. Like you could take information and do what you want with it. Someone who's never been to college before could literally read some books on the personal MBA. That book teaches you a lot more than you would think. And
better than college, definitely.
Most definitely. If you just study the information, you have all the knowledge that they have. And the professors, the syllabus that they use, you could Google that syllabus. You could literally learn all of this by yourself. You don't really need to give your money to them, but it's all part of the system. It's all about that's how they profit. They profit off of the people. That's why it's so easier for you to get a school loan rather than a business loan. It wasn't really made for the
Isn't it crazy that the government is giving loans to 18-year-old kids that they don't have any experience? They might have knowledge, but experience is everything. But they're not giving loans to business owners that they have a track record, that they just want more, and the government is not letting them expand. The banks are working against you. You think about it. Does that make sense? How somebody that young can get a loan for education that is just not necessary, and somebody that's trying to expand the economy by making more jobs, expanding the business, all of that is just not getting it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think. any entrepreneur, any businessman, they have to pave their own lane. They have to put themselves in the mix, and they have to create opportunities for themselves. Me and you, we make opportunities for ourselves, and we create opportunities for other people while doing that. You know, like our houses that we bought are going to be opportunities for contractors to be able to get paid. You know, someone in that house is going to be able to live in it. You know, single mother with her daughter or whatever, they could be living with that, and she could be working for us doing, I don't know, secretary work. Like we create opportunities out of nothing. And if you look at it like that, if you treat every business you do like that, you know, who the people you're affecting, that's the only thing you need to keep in mind. That's the only thing that keeps you liberated in a way, because people, they get caught up, you know, they get caught up in the money. You know, they start making all this money and they forget their values, and it destroys them. I've seen that happen like with many people. It destroys them, who they are as a person. Take away all the money from that person. Who is that person at the core? If you don't like the answer to that, you need to get away from them.
We saw it before, and we're gonna keep saying it. But the more we're in this industry, we're able to see through that.
Yeah, we have to.
And I'm glad. I'm glad now I'm able to see that. If I can take out the mask and just be more able to see the real person.
Yeah. People reveal themselves if you give them enough time. You know, you study people, study how they react to certain things. You study how they act when they're in a bad mood, when they're in a good mood. You know, you see them at every season. It's kind of easy for you to pick them out. You know, there's only a certain amount of people who have that killer instinct, and I think that this office is just that.
No, MTIP, I haven't met a single person here that doesn't have a killer instinct. Everybody's moving fast.
Moving very fast, and it's because they have that in them. Not everybody has the energy.
And you know why is that too? Because there is pressure. When you're in the office, you feel the pressure. Everybody's moving like this. Why am I moving slow? And then you start moving fast, or you quit. The only people that they stay here, they're the people that are gonna be there.
Yeah, it's like the gym.
Yeah, it is.
It's the same in the gym. People who can't keep up are gonna get left behind. And if you move with intention, relentlessness, it's no brainer that you're gonna get to where you're trying to go.
Literally.
So let's talk about bricks. You know, we're basically building the Robinhood of real estate, making it a regulated, fully licensed, fully SEC compliant, FINRA regulated, BDA compliant, all of that. And we're making it so where people could buy ownership in properties for as little as $100. And we're essentially democratizing real estate as a whole. The biggest asset class. This is a $40 trillion asset class we're back. This is a $40 trillion asset class we're talking about, you know? And a lot of people are not gonna like what we're doing. A lot of the banking system is not gonna like what we're doing. You know, like the hedge fund managers are not gonna like what we're doing, but there has to be some change, because real estate is an industry that only benefits the 1%, you know, and the business owners. And when you make it to where anybody can access it, you know, there's no more gatekeepers. There's a whole secondary market of non-accredited investors, you know. But not only do we provide ownership for people for less than $100, we also eliminate the property owner's debt at the same time, being able to make it multiply their cash flow, you know, so they don't have a debt connected to that property. Mm-hmm. Oh, the bank's not involved, and there's no like your expenses go from this to this. So now you're making more money.
Let me fix that. Go again. From here, do it. To here.
Yeah, nah. People don't understand how powerful it is what we're doing, you know, and the property owners are gonna benefit. You know, the early investors are gonna benefit. Even the young people. Think about when Robinhood first democratized the stock marketplace.
Right.
Any person in college could make money off of just buying a stock, and then that stock goes up, that stock goes down, and now it's doing the same thing but with real estate. And we're doing the same thing that Uber did to the taxi service, you know, and a lot of people are still in that taxi service mindset. You know, they can't break away from this mentality, but the game is changing, and we're revolutionizing the way it's going. And if Uber blew up transportation and Robinhood democratized stocks, Bricks is doing that with real estate. You feel me? And it's a it's about to disrupt the largest asset class ever. Even someone from Dubai or someone in Italy who doesn't even live in the U.S., never stepped foot in the U.S., can invest in a U.S. property.
Also, that makes me think the price of the properties are going to blow up,
Yeah.
especially the good ones, by giving access to the market to all this capital from small investors is going to definitely make the economy better for everyone.
Yes, it's
for
going to build a
everyone.
whole new economy. It's going to be direct to source.
And if you think about it, that also makes rent prices go down since owners have less expenses.
Yeah. It's a financial solution.
How do you think this is going to go in the next 5 years? Oof.
I think it's going to blow up. I think it's going to, once it catches on, it's going to blow up. All it really takes is that one what do you call it? The real estate, the realtor, the Miami Realtors, XP Realty,
Right.
all of them. Once they get connected, and it's gonna take over entire markets, right? So
It's going to.
it's gonna move very fast. We also need to understand that people are gonna try their best to shut us out. They're gonna try their best to shut us up and get us to stop doing what we're doing. They already offered us $54 million last year.
What does
What
that
do
tell
you think? Wait, no, let's restart that. They already offered us $54 million for this company.
What does that tell you? A lot.
It tells you that they're willing to pay to shut us up and get us out of here.
The worst part is all these industries, all these people that are seeing the change, most of them are going to be afraid. And when they see that everything is blowing up, they're going to jump. They're going to be in the mindset, either we fight them or we join them. But it's going to be, too late.
They should be afraid. I mean, they're like, we're cracking the fucking industry.
Who you think is going to be most affected?
The banks.
Definitely.
The bank was built to control the financial. It was made for control. So when you disrupt that, you're pissing a lot of people off. You know, people who's been doing this for decades, families, like people that you couldn't even think about, like are being affected by that, because that's how they make their money. You scared yet?
A little bit. That just made me think about a whole bunch of possibilities. How does it work? The core, the fractionalizing.
So basically, Bricks acquires a rental income property, right? And then they update the property, and then they rent it out, and they manage it,
Right.
right? And then Bricks fractionalizes the property, and it adds it to the Bricks marketplace.
Right, but how do they do it? That part of fractionalizing? I think you said something about eliminating the debt.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we take a house, right? Let's say you owe $700,000 in mortgage, right?
Right.
That loan balance gets broken down to 700 shares. It's $1,000 per share.
Okay.
So people are basically looking at your property and looking at the deal as if like, oh, this is a good deal, this is a bad deal. We have an investor community of people who will thumbs up your property,
Right.
or they will thumbs it down. And if that property reaches a certain threshold that, oh, I would buy into this property, this looks like a good deal.
Right.
I'm gonna purchase a share of this, or I wanna own this much of this deal. You know, they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the goal is to eliminate that debt by getting enough investors to pay off the loan by kind of like an auction.
Right. And how does it look for commercial owners?
It's great for commercial
Even
owners.
better, right?
Even better. You can own apartment complexes, real estate syndication, all of that.
Just imagine all these big buildings being fractionalized. We've been in this game. We know big commercial stuff takes like what, 1 year to sell? No, only the transaction. It sits on the market for years. Now with Bricks, that makes me think you can pull out all the equity in a matter of months.
You could even take a credit line. Let's say you owe all these shares. You have all these shares. If you want to sell off $100,000 worth of shares, you could do that, and then you could buy it back. You could use it like instead of refinancing
Right.
and paying refinance costs, you know, closing fees, all of that. You know what? I just want to sell off like 100 shares. You could do that, and then you could also buy it back. You're borrowing against your own property, and it's not as if you're paying all these extra fees. With Bricks, it's just a 3% fee. You as the owner would own 47%.
No, wait. My mind. So you're telling me it's only 3%. How much is a realtor fee?
Like 5%, sometimes 7%.
Okay, so we're not only disrupting the banks, we're also disrupting the realtors.
And the brokers.
Making the transfer and the process lighter for owners.
Yeah, because think about it. You're paying, when you close on a regular property, you're paying title escrow fees,
Right.
You're paying commission fees, you're paying insurance fees, you're paying all of these fees. Sometimes they could be like more than $20,000 in fees. And with bricks, it's just 3%. You know, so we take your property, we do a quick claim deed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your equity is let's say we own 3%, right?
Right.
You own 47%.
Okay.
Other 50% is the outside investors, people who want to borrow against you. So you have this whole thing of just micro investors.
And the 50% is the mortgage that is getting eliminated, basically.
Basically, yeah. You make the decisions, and the micro partners, they're like limited partners, and you're the GP.
Oh, okay.
But do you understand the concept? You understand what we're
definitely.
doing and how we're cutting out the middleman and making it easy for just like my little brother to invest in a property. My little brother could own a piece of this building that we're sitting in right now, all because of bricks.
And benefits from the difference with stocks, right? They appreciate. With bricks, it's kind of like a stock, but you also make money from the rental, right?
Yeah, you get dividends.
Isn't that crazy?
The difference between us and some of these other companies that are doing it, like Arrive.com, they are funds. We're not a fund. We're 100% liquid, meaning that you lock yourself up, you invest your money with a fund, you can't touch that money within 5 to 7 years. Your money is locked up. You can't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
With bricks, it's 30 days. You gotta at least get your first dividend.
Ooh. That just sounds game changing.
And innovators always have to change the game. You have to go against the grain in order to make history. People could also raise capital for a property that they want to acquire.
So you're telling me if I have a deal, let's say I'm a wholesaler, I'm an investor, I just go to you guys and they fund everything?
Yeah. We raise the money and then we acquire that building and it'll be listed on the secondary marketplace with you as the owner.
Okay.
Think about how this helps like people who are about to lose their house. You know, people who are in pre-foreclosure and they just want to wait out. You know, like they probably get 1,000 calls a day from people, wholesalers want to buy their house and then it's like they're attached to the house. You know, they're so connected to the house. You know, this is their house. They don't want to lose their house. Bricks offers them a solution to still own their house and still be able to make money at the same time.
That also makes me think that the wholesale game is going to change, since wholesalers usually they wholesale the properties because they don't have the money or they cannot raise capital.
If you're a wholesaler, you come to MTIP office in Miami right there on 161st.
And guess what? If you're not in Miami, webinar.
Yeah, we do a weekly webinar every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to learn more about this, we'll go over all of that with you. People who don't understand the concept of it yet.
Bricks right now, the main, as far as I know, right, is this office. Bricks was founded here. Now it's growing here.
Well, this is a long time coming. This isn't just like we just started. This has been in the making for 3 years. You know, you need like a certain unique amount of licenses to do what we're doing. Legally, no one can really do what we're doing because they need those licenses to be able to do it. People should be scared.
Definitely.
They should be very afraid.
It's not even about the licenses. It's about how he's taking action right now.
Yeah, so the space is how we met Julio too. You know, we went to a networking event, and it just goes to say like how easy it is to just like open doors for yourself just by putting yourself out there into the world and just making a way for yourself by just networking, talking to the right people. You know, like we came here for a regular networking event, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really like networking events because I feel like it's just like a speed dating ring where you're just like talking to as many people as you can, and you forget about what their name was, you forget about what they do by the end of the night. You know, if you don't make an impression that night, people are gonna forget about you.
You know who made an impression? Michael. No, he definitely made an impression.
And he definitely got that killer instinct.
No, he does. Michael is the founder of MTIP, and he basically told us, pull up to the office. And the craziest part for me, what blew up my mind, is an office in North Miami, mind you. near the beach.
On Biscayne Boulevard.
So what blew up my mind is, he was like, oh, pull up wherever. And then the craziest part, 1,500 just for a space in the office. It's crazy good. Offices are going for usually like 5,000 near Miami.
Not to mention the value that comes with it and the people you're gonna meet too. Because we're making way more than 1,500 a month since we met him.
No, I think triple.
So that just goes to show the importance of putting yourself around an elite circle. You know, the energy is everything. The people you surround yourself with is everything. You have to be willing to create access for yourself. You have to be accessible. You know, the conversations we have here, people pay for this shit.
Accessible to the right people.
To the right people.
To the right people.
Because if you waste your energy on people who don't really value it, it goes to waste. You know, I'm very conservative with my energy because I know what I'm capable of. I know the power that I hold. And some people, they don't appreciate that.
The people that are using this mindset and we're here, they drain you. When you have conversation with them, they're lacking, they're lazy, they don't have direction. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't want to be with you. And that's totally fine. Whoever doesn't think it's fine to save your energy, we don't need to talk. I want to be with this type of people.
Yeah.
This is where I belong. And now we know all this network, all these people in the office. The best part is not like a corporate office. Everybody here has their own shit, their own business. I haven't met somebody yet in a corporate space. Nope. Everybody here is independent.
There's no bosses. There's no like people you have to answer to. Everybody here is their own boss.
So if you think networking with people that they have like stable jobs is good, imagine networking with business owners 24/7 every day of the week. That's the office.
You are what you think about every day. What you consume, you become that. You know, so if you're constantly around millionaires, billionaires, you're studying the game, you're studying Forbes, you're studying Wall Street Journal, you're studying all of these high value players and elites, what do you think is going to happen to you? It's going to manifest into actual reality, you know? And I didn't really think a couple years ago when I was sitting in prison that I'd be sitting at tables with millionaires representing billion-dollar companies. I didn't know that. But I knew that if I seek the information, I will find what I'm looking for.
The information just changed your internal world. And once that happens, that reflects in your external world. And people don't see that.
Yeah.
People are lacking because you are what you think, but you're also what you do. And what we're doing right now is crazy.
We're building something that's going to outlive us, basically. So we have to think about the work we're putting in, the energy we're putting into this right now. It's going to be able to take care of our kids' kids. You understand? And people can't even see past themselves. So you're talking about generations ahead of you. You have to think about that. What you set up is what you leave behind. These buildings that we're buying, we're gonna leave them behind for our kids. These businesses that we're buying, you know, like these platform companies that we create to put businesses on top of, you know, cash flow businesses, already profitable businesses, you know, laundromats, funeral homes, daycares, stuff that's not gonna go away.
Right.
So if I'm putting all of these businesses on top of each other and stacking them, I'm creating more opportunities for the people. I'm creating more jobs for the people. I'm creating everything that kind of is vertically integrated with my business already, you know, from the HVAC companies to the construction companies to the plumbing, all of that intersects with real estate as a whole. If I'm able to control everything, I'm kingpin.
You know why is that? Because the core of everything is real estate. Every industry through the years has been disrupted some type of way. But you know what doesn't change?
It's tangible.
Real
You
estate.
could touch it.
Never gonna go away.
Nope. And as long as we have that, AI isn't coming for us. We use AI to our advantage.
We have control. That's the more important part. We have freedom.
Freedom is freedom is everything. You know, we create our own freedom. We also create our own prisons.
Peace of mind, knowing that AI is not gonna take over real estate. That's what makes me sleep good at night.
Yeah, it should. I mean, we're building wealth like the top 1%. Yeah, so if you're in Miami and you want to come connect with us and you feel like you have that determination in your heart, you know, that ambition, that drive to go harder and go further, come to the office. We'll talk, we'll sit, have a cup of cafecito, and we'll see where you're at. And if it aligns with what we're doing, who knows, maybe you could be the third seat right here. That's why this story matters. You know, it's not about just real estate. It's about rewriting who gets to win in America. You know, somebody from Peru, somebody who, you know, doesn't really understand this like that could be able to learn and seek the information out and create a life for themselves based off this information.
Information is everything, as we said before. Miami is the capital of South America, if you know what I mean. Everybody says that. And why is that? Miami is where there is more opportunities. 5 years ago, I didn't know English. I didn't know about real estate. I didn't know about private equity. Now I'm sitting around all these people that already has all of this information, and that make me change my whole life, my whole mindset. Made a business from 0 to 100K in 6 months, and now transitioning into the world of real estate, making that 100,000 possibly next year, but to 1 million. That's the power of Miami in America. That's not gonna happen in Tennessee. There's no sense of urgency. Capital of immigrants. People here live to survive.
Yeah, that survival mode mindset is so detrimental, but it's so beneficial at the same time, because some people who are in survival mode, they can't see past what's going on around them. They can't see past their own situation. Somebody who's ambitious, who's also in survival mode, knows that they could create with nothing. In a negative, you could still create on top of that. You know, it's just about how you look at it, how you perceive everything. So the renegade era has already begun. You know, we're not here to go along with what everybody's doing in real estate. We're here to rewrite the story. You know, and this podcast and this platform that we created, we allow anybody to come to this platform and, you know, come have a conversation with us. And if we feel like, you know, you're somebody who is determined and somebody who can articulate themselves in a way that they have a story to tell to the world, you're welcome. You know, you're welcome to come sit down with us, and we would love to hear your story, because I know that out of everybody, there's somebody watching this on TikTok, on Instagram, or Facebook, wherever you're watching this from. There's somebody here who has that spark in them. We spark the flame inside of you that knows that you want more. You know that you're capable of more, but you're just not implementing it. You're not applying yourself. You need somebody to hold you accountable. You need somebody to keep you hungry. You need somebody to keep you grounded, because, you know, we're human. You know, we lose track, we doubt ourselves, but the more you surround yourself around like-minded people, the better you'll become and the further you'll go. With that being said, I thank you, Danilo, for this conversation, and we're going to the top.